Starfighter. Making contact at point 003.
Welcome to Live Action Star Wars. I'm James.
I'm Ralph.
And today we are talking about Chapter 19 of The Mandalorian, The Convert. We are not doing it alone. Joining us literally as we press start on this. Welcome back to the show, Jacob Fullerton.
Hey,
There he
fellas.
Hey, how's
Jacob.
it going?
I'm back and I just rolled out of bed.
I mean, it's early for you guys over there. It's 7:30 for you in the morning. Because your clocks have changed, it's 2:30 in the afternoon for me, so it's not too bad. I'm doing all right. I've watched the episode twice. I was up early this morning. I don't have to rush to work, so yeah, it's a good day.
Technically, the last thing I did, other than sleep, was watch the episode.
I was gonna say you watched it at midnight, right?
Yeah, I watched it like just right at midnight, and then I dozed off.
See, I woke up at 5:15 to watch it. I don't know which is better.
I don't know either. I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know. There's been times when I've been working the night before that I'm like, I could watch it as soon as I get home, but I'm already tired. And it's sort of that thing of going to like a midnight screening. I'm like, I'd rather watch it and enjoy it than be already exhausted. Midnight I could probably do, but 5 a.m. for me, it's a bit much.
It's like, which sleepy brain do I want to go into this with? Like morning brain or end of day brain?
Yeah. It's all right. I think morning brain to talk about it is all right because you got a couple of other people to bounce off of.
Yes, exactly.
What did you guys think of this episode? Ralph, we'll start with you.
It's okay. It's might be my favorite episode of Mandalorian.
I knew
until it wasn't. The bookends. Because here's the thing, like Mando for me. Oh my gosh, we'll get into it. Mando for me, he's a guy that's obsessed with being accepted by a cult, and for me, I don't know. I don't sort of like I don't gravitate towards that. I don't like feel like I'm like that's a thing that I don't know. It just doesn't feel like something that I'm into.
You shouldn't be rooting for a guy joining a cult. Yeah.
You don't want that for him.
No.
I don't want it for him.
You can do so much better. That's every time I see him with those guys, that's what's going through my head.
But then there's the Pershing stuff, which is the majority of the episode, and I'm like, oh, this is really interesting stuff that I'd like to know about after the fall of the Empire. Like this is all very interesting to me. And I thought his character motivations and all that stuff were real intriguing. And I was like, oh, a character that's not just obsessed with being accepted by a cult. Like he's a guy with aspirations.
Yeah.
And
he wants to be accepted, but we're not thinking of the New Republic as a cult.
And
I think that's the difference.
We like to stay positive on the show, but my least favorite thing to ever happen during the Disney era of Star Wars happened during this episode, and I was so mad about it. And it's my only note, and we'll get into that later.
Oh wow, that's spicy. Yeah,
very spicy indeed. I wonder. I'm so curious to know what it is.
I don't know. I don't know if you'll know. If you know me,
do you hate ice cream? You don't hate ice cream.
Oh no, I don't hate ice cream. I love ice cream.
It can't be that.
Glowing ice cream.
Like the first time in weeks,
glowing ice cream.
It's like the first time in weeks I haven't worn my ice cream hat.
Of course.
I'm gonna log a few things in my head. See if any of them land.
Jacob,
that could be.
Just like overall thoughts. What did you think? This was a different episode.
It was unexpected for sure,
especially after the way last week ended.
Yeah. It had a really cool opening. That was like that part wasn't unexpected. It's like an awesome dog fight. I was down to clown with that. But then, it went in this whole other direction with just this Pershing's little adventure, bureaucratic adventure on Coruscant, and it was pretty interesting. Like I didn't expect it, but I thought it was neat. Saw some familiar locations,
and And
It felt like Star Wars.
new locations that book readers are like. I as soon as we cut to that wide shot of Monument Plaza,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that's like the mountain. And then they talked about it like they made a point out of it. But like, yeah, that's come up in books since I think like the Thrawn trilogy way back
yeah,
when.
a really long time ago.
And people have been posting on Twitter this afternoon, my time, that like the design of that square is like straight Ralph McQuarrie. That's from like the illustrated Star Wars books in like 85, I think that came out originally.
Actually, I was trying to remember when I saw it because I know that Plaza was in Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
My wife Stevie said, "Oh, this is exactly how it looks in the Lego video game."
Okay.
She said, "Oh, that's that rock. It's like exactly the same
Yeah.
way."
And I couldn't remember what I had.
Ooh, mate.
So many Star Wars books when I was younger, and I think it was some like one that was like it was just planets or something, and there was it did show that there was like just a little mountain peak on a
that
on
one
Coruscant
thing
somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? It's a mountain peak?
It's
That's
the
the
tallest
top.
mountain on Coruscant.
Yeah, that's
great.
how like they built that city up, and that's like all that's left, and it was
Which is
it's been
like
there
it's
for
so
hundreds
awesome.
of years. Like
It's like a little rock.
That's great.
In the one of the High Republic books, the Chancellor at the time is like doing a big speech in front of it and things. Like it's a monument. It's like the Lincoln Memorial or something. Like it's their
It's
version
just like
of that.
it's
but that's all
so
they've got left.
fitting with Coruscant. It's like, here's the one spot where you can see the surface of the planet. It's this rock.
It's it's go out and touch
Great.
grass, but as soon as you do, you get told off by a robot. Like
it's like getting too close to the art museum.
And of course, like that was sort of familiar but new. But then the most obvious familiar one, as soon as we get to Coruscant, we see the Galaxy's Opera House.
Yes,
which
I can always hear
Ralph,
it.
And then we got some of that music later on as well, which was cool.
A little bit, yeah.
Ralph, that can't have been like the thing that you hated the most, was it? Was seeing the Opera House?
No, it's
love
during the carnival scene.
Okay,
Which I didn't have a problem with. I didn't have a problem with the carnival scene.
I've got it.
Anyone who knows,
I think I might have it too.
I think was it the diegetic Mandalorian?
Was the music?
It's partially. I didn't mind the music at first. I'm like, this is stupid. But it's like also reminded me of the music in the holiday special, like the source music, the sort of the circus that Lumpy watches, the hologram circus. So then I was like, you know what, whatever, it's fine. Star Wars probably has weird music. My main issue, and it drove me up the fucking wall, was as soon as not Omega was saying, because I thought it was Omega the whole time.
Okay, yeah.
But I just figured, that would be a good spot for it. But no, well, whatever.
Clones, I suppose, yeah.
Clones, working with Gideon, probably to get closer to clones and stuff. I don't know.
Maybe
Dyed her hair to go undercover, change her accent because people's accents change.
So would probably give it away.
Yeah, a little bit.
So what's her name? Aaliyah
Kane.
Yeah.
So when she starts mentioning following orders or whatever she says, like she starts talking about falling into the same traps as
blindly following orders.
Yeah. The source music starts playing John Williams' Resistance theme from episode 7.
Yeah,
and
it Force Awakens.
Up the fucking wall. It drove me up the wall.
Of all the things, I love that of all the things that's the thing.
I don't know. Like, I don't have a problem with the Imperial March showing up in Solo.
Yeah.
Like it was used in Rebels and it's a different thing. But this just flat out started playing that music in Carnival sounds. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I understand maybe this is some sort of have something to do with the Resistance, but don't make it the Carnival music. Make it part of the score.
Yeah. Having the Mando theme in there, okay, but that one
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one.
Like, that's something as they're going for the Rock. Yeah.
Like for this one, I was like immediately like, is that like the March of the Resistance from when
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all the X-Wings show up in Force Awakens?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
It was like really immediately distracting.
But
And I was like,
Like it makes sense with John Williams would use themes. He would use like the Emperor's theme during Snoke scenes in
Sure.
the
Force
Last
Awakens
Jedi.
and Last
Yeah.
Jedi, yeah.
Fine. That's great because it's conjuring up a mood.
Mhm.
But this is music being played out of carnival speakers because it's the same carnival music. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, if you want to lay down the orchestra to play that so that we get in the headspace of essentially like, this is where we are, where there's the New Republic and the Resistance and the First Order. I get that. You want to set that up, but like, just make it the
Yeah.
music. Don't
Maybe
it's
that
like,
is
it's
like
like turning John Williams themes into fucking clown music. Like literally,
maybe it started out as clown music, and like it's the equivalent of like Ride of the Valkyries that Poe just likes to blast when he's going in. Like,
I'm sure like so many people watch this that like aren't cursed with Star Wars knowledge.
and music specific
There's
as
like-
well.
I'm a huge score guy.
Yeah, like that stuff all like sticks with me so hard. But like it was so immediate during that scene. I was like, Force
It's-
Awakens music.
it grabbed me as well because like I'm a sucker for a dogfight, and I'm sucker for like in atmosphere as well.
Yeah.
Like since Force Awakens, we were treated to so much cool in atmosphere stuff in that film.
Oh
that,
yeah.
like I loved the
Great
beginning.
fighting,
The
man.
beginning action scene of this episode was one of my favorite action scenes that we've had in the show.
Yeah, I was just like,
Right.
okay.
I
Let's
loved
go.
it. Like you, Jacob, sort of. I was eating that up. It was great. But then to get that music, but a completely different thing. Yeah, I get it. It was weird, but
Yeah. There was
I
that
can't
and-
say it's my least favorite thing
It is.
in all of
It
Disney
is.
Star Wars. That's
Like, I thought it
Name
was great when-
something worse. Let's hear it. I want to hear everyone's least favorite Disney era thing.
I can't pull it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know either. Other
yeah,
than the,
no.
like the classic Palpatine returns line.
I like it.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
at least makes me happy now because I can
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah.
But I did also notice I haven't checked because all I've done between watching the episode and right now is sleep. But like later in the episode, and Pershing's on his little table, and it sounded like the music that was playing in Jabba's palace when they first enter.
It
Was that music?
It was, yeah. It's that sort of like the I know that's exactly what I've got. Yeah,
Yeah, and I was like,
I've got
"Ooh."
Jabba's Palace music written down as my note here for it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny.
So much recycled music in this episode. Like,
Yeah,
But that's fun. Yeah, but that's fun because that is source music.
yeah, it happens
Like,
in the
already-
universe.
But I just
and also like they're trying to calm him in that scene. Like
Yeah.
that Moncal
Mhm.
doctor is like he's doing his best to make it sound like he's going on a fucking spa day.
And
but
what
like
better to calm someone than a Max
Yeah,
Rebo
it's-
classic?
it is quite a chill track. Like it's not Jedi Rocks or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, they play that. That'll wipe your brain real fast.
God, I
You'll
wish.
choose it. It's like turn it
Yeah,
up,
just-
crank it up, crank it up. That opening dogfight though, I loved it. I love a TIE Interceptor is my favorite Imperial ship, like without fail. So like,
Oh yeah, big fan.
I loved that entire scene.
Like this isn't a Gideon patrol or anything, right? This is like hard.
don't
This is
even
like
know at
still
this point.
Imperial.
It's like just generic Imperial
Yeah, it's
warlords, as far
warlords.
as yeah, exactly. But they even say like at the end,
like the TIE pilot, the TIE pilots didn't look. They looked straight off the factory floor.
yeah, shiny.
yeah,
Like
all of
They
it.
looked all clean and stuff. It wasn't like the ones on Navarro with space Herzog.
Beat up,
Oh,
dirty.
yeah.
Yeah,
Werner Herzog one, yeah.
yeah.
No, like they definitely feel more clean. Like I mean, but the troopers that we saw on Gideon's cruiser and stuff, they seemed like clean and new, and he was making
Yeah.
new like death troopers and things. So, you know, someone out there is funding some stuff. Like whether it's like the burgeoning First Order or whatever, we don't know. But like even when they're fleeing, they're like, this feels like a lot for a small time warlord.
Yeah.
I'm going back through the old X-Wing books in a moment, and like
Ooh.
all the talk of like Warlord Zinj and stuff in that, it's there's so much between Mandalorian and Andor that it's like it feels pulled from those books.
Yeah.
love it.
This episode really felt EU but like for me, I didn't read those books. I read the
in the best
Thrawn
way.
trilogy,
Yeah.
but for some reason, I don't know if it's because my eyes were blurry or whatever, but when Pershing and Aaliyah were going into the Star Destroyer,
Mhm.
I got insane Rebel Assault 2 vibes.
Oh, nice.
Oh
I
my
don't know
God.
why. Like the
Yeah,
way
with
they
the
were walking across
corridors.
the catwalks and stuff,
Yeah.
and the background is like, like this is 100% an effect, and they're just on a like a green screen ground walking, and I just got this feeling of Rookie One and what's her name? I forget her name.
Yeah.
And some full motion stormtroopers popping out from behind corners.
Yeah.
The same animation every time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting.
it.
I was waiting for those doors to open and it'd be like CG stormtroopers.
I mean, that's perfect little nod to last time we talked to Jacob. It was just before the Star Boys series started over on Funhouse.
Yes, the
and,
series that almost
was it-
killed me.
was it Rebel Assault 2 was the first one that you did?
Yeah, we played both Rebel Assaults.
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
we whipped out a joystick and played both of those, and it was so hard.
So Rebel Assault 2 is the Millennium Falcon level still bullshit?
I don't think we played the Millennium Falcon one. We did the speeder bike one, which was 100% bullshit.
Yeah,
like
the Falcon level where you're trying to get out. Yeah.
There's so many where it's just like, how am I hitting everything? I can't tell what's real or not.
You go like a millimeter to the left, and you're in the chasm wall.
Yeah, then there's the death animation. It's great.
It would make more sense if it was on a rail like Sewer Shark.
Yeah,
like I don't know if you guys remember Sewer Shark, but it was the same thing. It was like a full motion background, but the cockpit was stationary. You just moved the pointer and shot the little sewer things. Found out recently that the director of Sewer Shark, ILM alum John Dykstra.
Whoa.
Yeah, wow. Crazy, huh?
Wow, that connection.
It all comes back to ILM. Everyone worked at ILM.
That's the only reason why I brought up Sewer Shark.
They bombed the crap out of Castle Kreese.
Yeah, they got rid of her depression chair.
Yeah, and her droid's gone now. Like, no. Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Yeah,
the droid's probably fine. I'm gonna say the droid's fine. I'm gonna say the droid. They come back and the droid's like in the
chilling on the throne. Everything else destroyed around it.
Yeah, they only gave it one pass with the bombers.
There's only 3 of them. There's nothing.
Yeah. The droid mine just missed.
I thought it was a good way of doing it because there's no way that she was going to go with him otherwise. Like, she's like, I've done my bit. I've saved your life.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of your cult or any of that stuff. Leave me to go back to wallowing. Yeah. But it's a good way to keep her in the story for like presumably the rest of the season.
I feel like watching her in her ship with R5 and Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of wish that was the story. I find her character really interesting.
Your thing about The Mandalorian is the same as mine about Bad Batch, where I'm just like, the most interesting episodes of Bad Batch to me are the ones that don't really feature the Bad Batch that much. Like, I really like all the rest of the story in that show, but like, I can take or leave the Batch as the main characters.
I found it way more interesting is once he sort of created this bond with the child. Like, I found that compelling. I found it compelling that he loves this child so much he's willing to turn his back on the cult. But the fact is, he's
got there
still
now.
obsessed with the cult, and so I'm like, well, no, I'm not really interested. And I'm interested in him turning his back on the cult because of this child, doing everything in his power to protect this child, and to have the cult come after him. Like, that sounds more interesting than.
I still think it's coming down to that. It's still, I think that we are still leading to a point where like. He turns away from the way. But it'll be his choice as opposed to being kicked out. I think that's the thing. It's like he's got to make that choice himself.
And with Stevie mentions, this episode's called The Convert. I really hope that they're not talking about Bo-Katan. I like that it could have fit for Pershing.
It's a double meaning for this episode. Yeah.
But with Bo-Katan, I want her to take her goddamn helmet off in that room and just.
As soon as they say like you can leave at any point, she's like, cool, right, see you later, guys, I'm out. Like
you guys are sitting here like listening to stories. Din brought you proof that the water's not poisoned. Like, maybe your stories aren't the right ones to like base your whole belief on. Like, take your helmets off, have a discussion face to face, and let's go take back Mandalore. Let's go fight the beast and kill the Phil Tippett robot and kill all these things. And let's just take it back. Like, it's a new republic. Like, what the new republic probably doesn't give a shit about Mandalore. Now's the time to go back and take it. The Empire's certainly not there.
Yeah,
There's just like monsters, like sleep
yeah.
stacks
I'm
and
curious, like with the withheld information about the mythosaur,
Yeah.
because
That's my thing. It's like, okay, Bo, she's lost all of her people, so maybe she's just going to see this as an opportunity to sort of like rebuild her forces a little bit with who
Yeah.
maybe she can convert from the Children of the Watch.
I know it's kind of confirmed this week that due to the bombings,
Mm.
it cracked open the surface and the mythosaur reappeared.
Yeah, it's Godzilla.
yeah,
Like it was hidden. Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not into the cool stuff. Like, I know that the mythosaur's been around in EU forever and everyone
Yeah.
was excited to see it. I was just excited to see it and hear that it's like Godzilla. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
my
sold it for
attention.
you as the Godzilla side of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as we open the episode and she's just sat there, din still out, and she's just sort of staring at the water, I was like, she's not telling him. She's keeping that quiet.
Yeah.
And I think that is really interesting. She sort of probes him a little bit to see if he saw anything, to see if he knows anything.
Yeah, make sure he didn't.
Yeah. And Grogu wasn't down there, but like, so she, in her mind, she's got that in her sort of back pocket. That's a trump card for her.
Yeah.
But what she's going to do with that information, I don't even think she knows yet. I think like she's going to figure that out. And
thank goodness she was there. Can you imagine that, like, Din goes to these waters with Grogu, doesn't check how deep it is, and just drowns. He just sinks like a rock.
Walking,
So he
like,
did.
yeah.
So he did fall. He didn't get pulled in, right?
Yeah, he just sank.
Yeah, you were right. Like, I think Adam Fraser and I were both saying, like, we thought he got grabbed and pulled under. But no, it from this episode.
But I like that. I like that. It's like it's like a leap of faith, but it also it forced someone else to go in after him. So it's almost like a test of you must stick together if you're going to survive this thing. A true Mandalorian is willing to drown themselves in the water, but
together
also rely
exactly.
It's like a trust fall essentially.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like that. Just as long as you get wet in there, you're good with us. Like, I like this more of a test of faith as opposed to just like,
and maybe
sort of
showing
go get wet.
that there isn't one leader maybe isn't good for this thing. Like, that goes back to like all the Clone Wars stuff, where it's like you've got the pacifism side of it, you've got the sort of the Death Watch, like their history of being this sort of conflicting race. Like, one side might not be completely right, the other side might not be completely right, but put them together, they could probably work something out.
Wow,
and
sounds like our politics today.
Yeah, right. Like, that's what this show is. It's just secretly teaching everyone that democracy can be good when everyone works together.
Yeah.
Get your politics out of my Star Wars. That's what I say.
Democracy.
Yeah. But democracy, we see like a new sort of government is up on Coruscant and everything now. And they seem like they're doing some nice things. They've got this amnesty program. This is another time when I'm just like, okay, cool. Having the time jump works. I like having a couple of years now, because I don't think they're instantly rehabilitating someone like Dr. Pershing.
It's good. This is the kind of stuff I like seeing. Like, the stuff we saw with Andor was like, okay, this is how we went from the Empire to like the Death Star. Like, this is like
some world building.
That's a nice
yeah.
And in the Mandalorian, it's been like 5 years after the Empire, and we've seen like sort of the crumbling of sort of the ranks of stormtroopers and stuff, and all that's the decay of that. But we haven't really seen what the New Republic has been doing until like this episode, and that I was like, this is what I want to see.
Yeah, on screen, it's like, oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But it's like, I'm like, it's really shady to me, the shit they're doing with this amnesty program. Like,
they're all numbers.
Understand that they're
like,
embracing,
they are all.
That's fucked up.
Yeah,
that's fucked up. They have names.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But they're not,
It's
and
like,
even to each other, they're just referring to themselves as a fucking number. It's like you're prisoners. This is like the prison on Andor in Andor. It's like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just
yeah, it's like
with a
you'll want to
glossier
keep your
coat.
names probably.
Yeah,
It's not
right?
everyone's like, oh, that was my Imperial name. I can't use that anymore.
Yeah,
But no,
yeah.
very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Andor, it's like that was the first time we got some like on-screen kind of post Clone Wars politics, and that was neat. And like this time, it's like, oh yeah, this New Republic thing's happening. Let's see what's going on there.
Yeah,
Cool.
they've got good intentions, and I'm sure that the amnesty program looks good. And when you roll a guy out into the opera house to sort of give a speech about
like a
what
TED
good
Talk.
it's doing, like it looks great, and it does. Like their numbers, I'm sure, like their approval ratings are through the roof because of things like that. But like, yeah, it's still shady. It's still not great. And then we like that scene that we saw after his TED Talk in the opera house, where the upper crust of Coruscant just don't give a fuck. They don't know what's going on. The dude who's like, yeah, I almost got drafted, didn't know where he was getting drafted potentially. Like that was, it could have been the Empire, could have been the Rebellion, could have been the New Republic. It's all the same to him. Life really probably hasn't changed for him in the last 30 years.
They look down on the Outer Rim.
Yeah.
They really look down on it. And it's funny because this one actually says that Coruscant's considered the center of the galaxy.
Yeah.
So yeah, just them looking down on the Outer Rim. It's like,
there was a lot of great world building stuff in this. It was
there was.
Yeah, I like all the the taxi droid that's just like spouting a bunch of
just chatting too much. Yeah. And like that again, like I'm just reading like Wedge's Gamble, the second X-Wing book, and in that the museum that taxi droid starts talking about, like visiting the museum, that's a plot point in that book and things. I'm just like, this is all sort of it's all
those little tidbits.
Yeah, and it's great. And it's like, there's a whole like Jedi wing in there that the Empire had blocked off and everything. That's where Corran Horn finds out that he's a Jedi, sort of thing.
Corran Horn.
Yeah, love that guy.
Oh man.
Major daddy issues. We don't need to get into it here. But yeah, there's so much like that, and just having a chatty taxi driver is like, that's brilliant. They don't have Uber over there yet, clearly.
Yeah, they don't need it.
No, they
don't need it. So is this Pershing a clone?
No, he's got the scar on his ear from when Bigoted Bill shot him. What's her name? I can't remember.
That's right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, that's when he like kept on sort of scratching at his ear. That was because she shot him in the ear.
Do you think that's a way to let us know that this is the original Pershing? Like maybe in the future we'll see one without that thing?
Maybe.
And we'll see that there's clones. Because I thought it was weird when he approached the group in his at the table. The guy, I don't know when his number was said, "You're new." Yeah. And he kind of stopped and paused and was like, to this place. You're new to this place. And that made me think, oh, he's new, like a clone, like
newly hatched. Yeah. I didn't get that, but it'd be interesting. Like if they are just rolling out clones because they've sort of taken his research or something. Like we find out that the Prime one is still actually being put to work.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is, so Aaliyah worked for Moff Gideon.
Yeah. She seemed
probably still Pershing. Does.
Yes. And we know that Pershing's worked with Moff Gideon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is she kind of going out and getting rid of all the clone Pershings? Is this an origin story? Does this happen currently in the timeline?
Like tying up
or is this a flashback?
Maybe?
Is this a flashback of his origins? It felt like his origins.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of Pershing's? Or
yeah.
I don't know. I think having the scar on the ear makes it sort of after, and they talk about Gideon having been captured, and then there's stories like no one knows what's happened to Gideon. Like, there's talk that he evaded like the transfer, so he might be out there. But then there's rumors that was a cover story, and that he's actually just been put in a mind flayer and is like, just being.
She really wants to clear his mind. That's why I was thinking she's Omega, and I don't. I mean, it's a theory. It might not be a good one. I haven't watched Bad Batch season 2 because reasons. But 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 I'm like, it's got to. I want it to be someone like that, someone tied to cloning, and
I think it's just showing someone who's still a zealot. She's still Imperial. Like she's been deep cover probably for a little while. They probably found out that Pershing was there. I got the feeling that Pershing had been there maybe for a little while. He might be newer than them, but he'd been there for a little while. But he's just a socially awkward guy who's not going to go and sit around that table unless he's like really invited in.
Yeah, it struck me as like some time had passed since like he'd been kind of brought into this program. And like last time we saw Aaliyah,
he already converted. Like
she was like,
yeah.
He was in the process of it. But like last time we saw Aaliyah, she was talking about like, ooh, the new order and stuff like that. And she was very like sinister. So I saw her and I was like, that's bad news.
No, I didn't trust her once throughout this episode.
No, not at all.
They really do a good job of making her seem like she's convincing him that she's doing this for the New Republic, because he's all in. Again, at first, I didn't know whether he was or if this was a cover from him. But then as we went on and the more that we got of just him on his own, sort of psyching himself up to do this stuff, he's all in on the New Republic at this point, I think, until...
But he wants it to be better.
Of course.
He wants to
do his research. He's overzealous. He's always been overzealous, whether it's
like this could still help people.
Anyone else. Yeah.
He wants to help people. Yeah. And I don't know. I was fine with her, and I like, again, her being anti this sort of indoctrination thing that was going on where they all get numbers and stuff. I was like kind of for that. I'm like, I get it. I'm on her side. And I was hoping she'd be good. Because you know, fuck the establishment. Yeah, glowing ice cream.
Yeah, it looked nice little Solaro.
Yeah, she wants to show them the sights.
And and the hopping between train cars and things like that was cool. Like they're going out over,
just throw him off a building or something. She could have thrown it. She could have like. It's so weird that she wants him.
Yeah, I think she wants
also wipe his mind.
I don't know if it's full. Like I don't know if it's a full wipe. I got it as a. She wants to clear out his indoctrination by the New Republic. She wants to basically like revert back to how he was maybe a couple of years ago, where he doesn't really care who he's working for. He just wants to do the work. So she just needs to clear him out a little bit. Is how I took it. I don't know. We're done.
Yeah, I'm curious like how much of this thread will continue through the rest of the series for sure.
I'm hoping quite a lot. Like I'd like sort of a 50-50 split of the storylines until they converge would be lovely.
I mean, are people going to get mad though? Like
where's
they
Mando?
did with Book of Boba Fett?
Where's Mando?
Yeah, probably. Adam Fraser brings up the point here. She's still working for Gideon. She's wiping his mind so that he can't share any secrets with the New Republic. That makes sense.
That's what I was getting from it too.
Yeah.
Is that she's like just like undercover for Gideon, and also still doing the bidding of the Empire.
And he knows what Gideon was working on. We don't, as an audience, don't yet. We assumed that it might be like Snoke or something like that. But we don't
it's gotta be Snoke. We saw some sort of version of Snoke or something.
It's definitely in that realm, isn't it? It's not maybe not exactly, but
because that line, the somehow Palpatine returned, I think is being explained.
Slowly but surely,
we're getting the somehow.
We're getting the stuff in that book.
This like
all
the somehow.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
because Bad Batch showed in the very first episode of Bad Batch, which I did watch, they showed that they're wheeling a Jedi corpse into the cloning facility on Camino because we see the lightsaber drop off the thing. So we know they're doing something with Jedi midichlorian cells to do cloning.
And they're still doing cloning on Mount Tantis and things like that. We've got all of that.
We believe Grogu is part of this cloning.
Look, I came
around the same time.
I think Grogu is a clone.
Really?
Yeah, like they talk about him being a strand cast and things. And in this episode, when he's walking down the steps of the Opera House, he talks about like how the first two casts didn't work or they didn't take or something. It's like there's something there. It's like
I want to see some jacked up Yodas.
Yeah, I thought of that as like because they had Grogu for a little bit in their possession, so I would like kind of interpreted that as like maybe they like tried some stuff and they hadn't figured it out yet.
Maybe they're trying to clone.
I always subscribe to him not being a clone, all because Quill says he's too ugly to be a clone. from
Yeah. I mean,
season one.
But look at Snoke. I feel like Snoke is
He's pretty
super
ugly.
ugly.
Way
I
uglier.
feel like Snoke is ugly. I feel like what they were trying to do is clone Palpatine.
I mean, yeah, she's
And
not
in
the
the
prettiest,
process-
is he? Like, come on.
but in the
Not at
in the
all.
process, Snoke was created and was
Uh-huh.
too strong with the Force that he escaped and
I mean-
started ruling the galaxy. I feel like that's
There was a bunch of failed Sheev clones. Like the son, Rey's dad, was the closest to it. He was the only sort of successful Sheev clone, but wasn't like he didn't have any sort of Force abilities. That was why he
He's
was
the
sort
guy.
of he was sort of a failure in that regard, and that's why he was let escape. They let him escape and go and make a family and Rey to sort of keep him going because they were like, maybe down the line there'll be sort of some nascent Force abilities in there, but
yeah, guys. Rise of Skywalker is good.
Hell yeah.
Deal with it. Scott D says, "I know what pissed off Ralph. It was the trap said to the Mon Calamari."
Oh yeah, you can't say that to a Mon
huge.
Calamari.
I didn't even notice it first time
Eye
around.
roll.
I don't know if
Okay.
I noticed
Eye
it
roll
either.
from this guy.
I got it on my second viewing, but I didn't notice it first time around.
I'll have to
I
watch
was
it
like,
again.
I get it.
Yeah.
That Mon Calamari,
fine,
who's
it's
doing
fine.
like the voice that their voice sounded like the voice that we all do when we're doing a Mon Calamari impression.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just talking like this. I'm a Mon Calamari character.
I am enjoying the amount of aliens that we're getting in the show now. Like,
Yeah.
we went for a little while where we didn't really get any new ones in the Disney era at all. But like, I was making a list and I was like, we got in this episode alone, there was Mon Cal, Ishitib, Ithorian, Rhodians, and Twi'leks. I was like, that's great. Like,
there's
that's
even,
Jabba's
weird on
palace
the
right
train.
there.
Train. Yeah.
Yeah.
the
That
big dude
big
on the
dude.
train. That guy was
Yeah.
cool.
And we also know that Wednesday in Star Wars is what was it? It's
Like
Song Day or something. Songs Day.
Yeah.
Tongs Day.
Songs Day.
It's
something
Tongs
like
Day, my dudes. Yeah.
Tongs Day. Am I right?
Yeah.
It's like-
Okay, that's a bit weird, but I'm sure that the people that don't like any sort of earthy phrasings will hate that, but I liked it. And then
I liked it.
and
Yeah,
then
that's
when
fun. I love
Pershing
stuff like
tries to like play it cool when they get to the next car, I was like, you can't pull this off. But
I
like,
think that's why I like this character, because in Star
I
Wars
think
you
it's
see a
great.
lot of people with confidence. You see a lot of people who may not have confidence, but they become heroes. Like Pershing seems so uncomfortable with
he's
being
just
in
a
this
dog.
galaxy.
He's a massive
Yeah.
dog, and it's great.
But it's
Yeah.
great. It's
Yeah.
great. And he goes to bed watching his iPad, like wanting to learn more about Coruscant.
Yeah,
Like
his
he's
pajamas.
just
he
like
falls asleep
yeah,
to TED Talks for sure. Like, yeah.
Yeah, he loves to eat like airplane cookies.
yeah. His favorite snack is like the here you go,
Hey.
like the military rations. And like,
Yeah,
that-
everyone like laughs at him.
Sometimes you crave like McDonald Land cookies, those shortbread cookies that are just like nothing.
Oh yeah,
But sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes that's good. That's what you
Sometimes
want.
they
It
hit
doesn't
right.
have to be- Yeah,
he's got a
exactly.
whole crate of them.
yeah. I didn't notice that when the door opened though. Like that was a bit odd. I was like, I was expecting a note or something and like something to be slipped under, but yeah, it's like if
Big
he
ass
took like
box.
half a step forward, he was going over that balcony.
Yeah, it's like, huh?
yeah.
Whoa!
Wish
Yeah.
someone,
How did I miss it?
wish
It's
someone
fine.
would leave cookies at my door.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
They look like those Ted Lasso cookies. Like they look like shortbread
Oh yeah, yeah.
cookies. And I guarantee you, there's already people
Making them.
online. They'll
Oh,
start
yeah.
showing up, or
Yeah, I never-
Disney's ready to post them.
I never did make the cocktail from Andor that Mon Mothma's drinking with the tequila
Oh,
one, but
little worms
Yeah.
in it.
yeah, they put up a recipe of like a non-alcoholic version. I was like, I could
Yeah.
easily.
Do you think there were
Make that
glowworms
nice.
inside? Do you think there were glowworms inside the ice cream? What was making it
Oh,
glow?
there's a little creature inside.
Maybe
You gotta get to
something,
the,
right?
yeah,
the
yeah.
juicy center.
A little glowy center. I like
Well,
that
we
she
saw
says
those-
you're
we saw those
melting,
bugs.
but
Yeah.
it looked like they were like a hard plastic sort of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been so Star Wars, like have them like eat their way to the center of this ice cream, and there's like a little like right in the middle. They have to bite the head off.
We saw those bugs later on the Star Destroyer, like just chewing on the
They had
wires
glowing
and things
eyes.
like that. Yeah, they
Yeah,
had
big
glowing
old
eyes. Maybe
bugs.
it's those. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
maybe it's just the eyes. Maybe they just
Maybe it's
pluck
just
the eyes out.
Oh,
Put them in ice cream. Yeah, that's
I
Star
love
Wars.
that.
It's Star Wars
I
Dippin'
love
Dots.
that. That's great. That's a great way to connect shit. Because like usually we try to connect big things like clonings and shit, but
How do we
to
get
say
the
that
ice
those
creams
are
to glow?
bug eyeballs. I love it.
I love it. When he's getting his tests, you got to think this is probably like a weekly thing that they have to do all of the
Oh, the Blade
the
Runner
reform,
questionnaire.
and it
Yeah.
was Blade Runner exactly.
Blade
Like
Runner.
what is it, the Voight Kampf test or whatever they have to do? Like the
Yeah,
It
in the
felt
2049,
yeah.
it's like a calibration test to make sure that you're.
But I mean, even in the first one,
Falling
like,
in line
the
with it.
opening of Blade Runner is Deckard giving that test. It's like
To Leon.
it felt so similar to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Especially like in the setting like Coruscant and stuff too.
Mhm.
And having to do it over and over and over again.
With that New Republic symbol right behind him, like
yeah.
it feels really. I really am not a fan of the New Republic.
It's
really
prison. It is a prison, but it's just
Yeah.
made to look nice. They've got like a short leash. They don't have an ankle monitor on, but they may as well have. They've got a perimeter that they're allowed to go into. Like
Yeah.
it's dodgy. And he didn't.
The numbers. It's calling them by numbers is the worst, and giving them a badge so that you have
Yeah,
like a scannable
that
ID.
insignia.
on you.
I'm sure that like in next month at Celebration,
good
people are
look.
going to be selling those pins, and I'm just like,
Oh, no.
I don't want that. Like,
No.
that's bad. That's bad, guys. Yeah,
Not a good look.
no, that's like it's the equivalent of getting your like camp stamp, like your number tattooed on your arm. Like, it's, yeah. No, don't want it.
Don't care for it.
They're decommissioning everything. I thought it was really interesting. So
Yeah.
they're not just stripping down the Imperial stuff. They are at this point in time, they're decommissioning even like the rebellion's fleet and things like that. They are Mon Mothma is in power, and I think it's Bloodline is the book where they talk about her pushing for a full decommissioning.
Full pacifism.
Yeah, it's like we don't need it. And it's like you might want to have something there,
just
just
like put
in
him in the
case.
garage or something.
Yeah,
It would have been cool to see her.
Mon Mothma in this. Yeah.
I mean,
It'd be great.
she's around.
Yeah. I
So
think
it
at this
would
point in
make
time,
sense.
she's getting a bit older, obviously, but I think she's starting to get sick at this point because that's sort of what is happening in Bloodline, which is I think probably about this timeline. It's just before that it becomes public knowledge that Vader was Leia's father.
Leia's
and
father,
she's like pushed out of politics.
Yeah. I guess that would be sort of
It's around
here.
It's around this sort of time. Yeah. Ben is maybe just gone to join Luke. Luke's probably keeping quiet that he failed with his first student. So yeah. Bad teacher. Luke's a bad teacher.
Grogu made the wrong choice in my book. I'd much rather be with Luke than with Din.
He's just getting dragged around in dangerous situations.
I don't know. I think it seems more fun seeing the galaxy.
I think he does love it though.
Yeah, he's just hanging out with his
having
dad.
a good time. Yeah.
It
almost sounded like he gave a little. This is the way in this episode.
It's I thought it was interesting.
It was just a bunch of like
point. Bo does repeat it back to Din when like it's like this is the way, and then she says it back, and it's like I think she's placating. I don't think she's all in, but she's also like she's accepting Din. Maybe not the way in the Children of the Watch, but she's accepting Din at this point as like, yeah, cool, all right, fair play, mate, you're cool. But
he's a good, all right guy, all right Mandalorian.
Yeah, and
she's always kind of made fun of his like desire to like redeem himself for his cult and stuff like that.
But I think again now that she's seen that, okay, cool, maybe if I go along with them for a little bit, get some strength back up, and then I can go down there, take that mythosaur, tame that mythosaur, do what I need to do, and then I can be the leader again, and they'll have to follow me. I'll make them all take off their helmets.
Yeah, big thing at the end of the last season was her just like wanting what Din has.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious if that's going to be part of this season at some point.
I hope so. I mean, we talked about it last week, where it's like you've got these two sort of totems of leadership. You've got the Darksabers, you've got the mythosaur. It's like bring them together. There's going to be something there. Yeah. I like it, and I want it to be Bo in charge more than Din.
Yeah.
I don't think Din is a leader in that regard. Like he's He might be like a field marshal sort of leader, but like he's not a political leader.
He definitely doesn't want it either.
No. Which is probably why he's gonna be, because that's sort of how stories go these days. Like
Yeah,
the Jon Snow
That's
of
how
it
you get
all,
the
but
good
like
leader that
yeah.
doesn't want it.
yeah, reluctant leader is
Yeah.
it's always the case.
Conan
yeah.
leading with a troubled brow.
We get the Aaliyah Kane double and then triple cross. We've talked about the triple cross of like her being left alone in that room and turning the cog up. Who leaves someone who's
Oh my god,
who leaves
that
alone?
Twilight guy! Like, what are you doing? You
Yeah,
can't
come
leave
on,
some
dude.
random like
Unless
former
he knows.
Imperial in this room.
I mean,
Unless he knows, unless he's in on
Unless
it.
he knows.
Maybe.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
she's-
leave these. I'm just gonna leave these keys here. Something happens to him.
Yeah, as soon as that door closes, she's
Yeah, she's cranking
Yeah.
up, and no one's watching, no cameras, nothing. Like no one's just going, "Hang on, his vitals are spiking here." Like
yeah.
Nope,
That's
everyone's
Oh my
gone.
God.
And also, he's shouting, "She set me up, she set me up," and then
Yeah.
they're just like, "She's fine, we'll leave her alone in there."
This
Like,
guy's
Yeah, they're
crazy.
all. I think they're all in on it. I
don't-
think she
I just
aligned
think they're all
herself
dumb.
with. Yeah, that could be.
Yeah,
It's
that
the New
Mon
Republic, I don't
Calamari
think
who's
it's the
like,
smartest.
This machine, it's fine. It's just like a little tickle. It's experimental, but
I
this is
did it,
probably
it's fine.
fine."
This is the dude that tests shit on himself, like just
Yeah.
for fun. He's
Yeah.
he-
that was
he
I
got
laughed
some
at that. It's like,
screws
"Yeah, I do it to myself all the time."
what?
Like, for some reason, as a dial that goes up to 11,
Yeah,
but
Yeah, right.
it's fine.
they should really have a cutoff as soon as it goes from like blue to red. Like, yeah.
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 But before that, we got the double cross, and we see
double
that she's getting him arrested, and I guess that's like curry favor, so that her cover's gonna be intact, but also,
Yeah.
But
to
it
set
feels
him
like
up for
she could have arrested him at any time,
that. Mm,
but maybe wanted to get what he was gathering in the box
Yeah, because that seemed important.
first.
yeah.
So
get
she
that
grabbed
equipment
that
so
from him. Now
she can
we'll
still
arrest
use
him.
it. Mm.
Yeah.
Wipe
So-
his mind, wipe anything, and then maybe like I think maybe like next time, does she go and reintroduce herself to him when he's like
Maybe
catatonic
she
or
already
something?
has.
And
Maybe,
give
maybe, yeah,
herself,
maybe.
give him the supplies that he chose.
Yeah.
Maybe
Hey,
she
look,
can do
or
something with those.
she just sets it up in his room so that when he wakes up, it's all there, and he just sort of gets on with the work,
Yeah.
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. But again, like all cops are bastards, all New Republic cops are bastards. It doesn't matter who you're working for. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
even droid cops.
Yeah. I like that we saw like that patrol like thing again. We saw it in Last Jedi.
Yeah,
We've seen
those
it
like
in
those,
some of the animated stuff. Like,
yeah, a lot of those in Clone Wars.
yeah, there's loads of them. I think they were like old Republic thing, like dropships, but
Yeah.
they've been repurposed to just being police cruisers now, essentially. It's cool. And the mind flare, like we've heard about mind flares before, right? I don't think we've seen one.
Yeah, they've said the name before. I think
Yeah.
in this show.
Was it? Show? Yeah.
I can't remember if it was this where like Boba Fett or something, but I think that
Maybe.
yeah, they've definitely mentioned mind flayers
Hmm.
in Star Wars before.
It's like it's the digital version of Borg Gullet. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna
it's-
say like it's
Yeah.
like Borg Gullet.
Borg Gullet. Yeah, just again, just roll one of those out. Like, just that's what they should be doing. Like, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Oh my god, if I saw another Borg Gullet on screen, I would freak out in a good way.
Yeah, good. Love Borg Gullet.
Yeah.
Such a like dumb thing. I love it. It's
It's a
brilliant.
strange thing to just say out loud without
It's
any
just a-
context.
It's got a good mouth sound. Like it's just
Yeah.
fun
Borg
to
Gullet.
say. Yeah, exactly.
Borg
Will
know the truth.
I know what Ralph thinks of this show and this season in general. I think you've been more positive probably this season
Mhm,
so far,
yeah.
than in previous.
It feels
seasons.
more
But-
focused.
Yeah. But Jacob, like, what have you been thinking so far? Like, this is a very
Um,
different episode, but
Yeah. Like I was down with it. Like as far as the whole season goes, like I thought like the first episode has been the weakest so far. Because it was
Yeah,
like
I don't-
quest gathering. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is
Yeah.
like how I play RPGs. which
go pick
isn't
up a bunch of quest
necessarily
lines and then
fun
I'll do
for
them in whatever order I
storytelling.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But like yeah, second episode I really enjoyed. Love seeing some Mandalore and some just weird cyborg stuff.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was
Yeah, well,
awesome.
That was great. Yeah.
Yeah, Mythosaur. Like I was like, oh, I've never seen a Mythosaur before. Except for the
Yeah, and
skulls.
It was Tommy the Duck here in the comments. He mentioned here, he's like, the show was his introduction. I think it was a lot of people's introductions to mythosaurs. Like,
Yeah.
I think,
Like, I
like
think,
we know the name and things like that, but this was the first time that we've seen it, and in canon that we know really anything about it.
Yeah, like I think on screen mentions, like it was Quill that brought it
Quill
up
at the
first.
beginning,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're like, oh, Mandalorians, you rode the mythosaur before.
Yeah.
You could ride a bird.
Like your ancestors like used to ride mythosaurs. It's like no. One of them did maybe once. Like it's that yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, this was definitely an interesting. I love some like more world building in Star Wars. It's like one of my favorite things about Andor. So getting some of that in this show, I'm down with. I
That's
almost
cool.
forgot about about Din, because then like it kind of finishes up what's going on with Pershing, and then I'm like, all right, end of the episode, time to go to bed. And then it like cuts back to Bo and Din like going to that covert.
Covert, yeah.
Covert. And I was like, oh right, this is the thing that's happening right now
Yeah.
too.
And I think that was a way of them sort of like doing. It was getting away from the risk that they did with Book of Boba Fett, where you have entire episodes away. I think that's why this episode was longer. I think like a different cut of this is just the Pershing stuff, and then next episode we go from the beginning of the Din and Bo stuff, and then we just carry straight on.
Yeah.
But to bookend it like this, it keeps those people happy that they need to see the baby. Like that's all it is. It's like yeah.
I guess I would try to. I'm picturing if this was an episode that just had Pershing in it, where does that like title card? Where
does it drop? Yeah. Yeah, there isn't really a good drop for it, is there?
Yeah, like right after his TED talk, then it shows that. You're like, what is going on?
It would be quite jarring to like get the Mandalorian drop in the middle of an episode set on Coruscant, like with all of the stuff that happened.
With some nerd. Is he like? Do we see anybody else in Star Wars wearing glasses?
I think he's the only one. Oh, he was definitely the first.
Person?
He was definitely the first one. Like we've seen goggles, we've
like
seen
goggles and stuff.
But like
Maz Kanata a little bit.
Oh yeah,
again,
they're kind of goggles.
Yeah, she's got some Coke bottle glasses.
Yeah. These ones in this episode, they looked really thick.
Yeah.
Extra
nerdy, big and circular.
I noticed that like in particular on his second Blade Runner test, when he is starting to question the New Republic and their methods and things. That's when I really noticed them. And also that's when I noticed the scar on the ear. Like, because we see him doing it at the beginning, but then he's doing it there. And it's like, I think that's his just like, it's a twitch for him because he's seen what happens. Like someone working for the New Republic just shooting him without any real regard.
Because how many times does he do that through the episode? He does it during his speech. And then I remember him doing it during the questionnaire with the droid. But those are
there's some close-up shots of it on the train.
His cubicle. Maybe when he's in his cubicle, which was a lot like Cyril's like desk job.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like
it was very, very similar. It's like, and I think because we've got such feelings about it from Andor, it's like we see that and it's not a good work. It's not good job. This is like manual labor. It's the equivalent of getting him to punch license plates and things. Like it's
familiar props, all those little data cards.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely wanted. They definitely wanted us to notice the ear thing. I have a feeling we'll see another Pershing without it.
I like that theory. Like I don't know if I buy it completely, but I like it. It's fun theory.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows with this show?
Yeah,
who really knows? Yeah.
It
could go anywhere.
That's the fun of it. I think that is the fun of it. It's like, we're in a time frame where we know where it began and we know where it's going to go, but there's plenty of room for them to do whatever they want in it.
Yeah, so much room.
Because I expected this episode to be an hour-long battle against the mythosaur.
I think we all did. Like after last week, like, and that's
that at all.
That's been the conversation. All
the opposite.
Between everyone has been just like, okay, we like, because there was talk about this one being a longer episode, it being something special and everything. I was like, okay, cool, like that's great, looking forward to that, but this isn't what I expected at all.
There's ice cream, there's just some desk work.
I can tell you the scene on the train with the droid coming towards them when they're on the very back of the train, the music sounded like the Terminator. It sounded like Brad Fidel's Terminator, but like the synth like
The original one, yeah.
And the droid coming through, and I thought that music was awesome. I love that music.
Oh man, yeah.
There's a couple of like the Terminator nods in this season so far. It's like, yeah.
Joseph Shirley has been doing the score for these, I think, the last 2 seasons, and Ludwig Göransson's doing the themes. Saw Creed 3 over the weekend, and the score was by Joseph Shirley.
He's just Ludwig's, he's Ludwig's protege.
Yeah, pretty much. And so
I really hope that means that Ludwig is working with Donald Glover on a new Gambino album, because Donald Glover is apparently doing a new Gambino album at the moment. But if that means that Ludwig's back with him, then I'm very excited.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the music in the episode I thought was great, with the exception of the Resistance theme done in the classic
that
style.
Yeah.
The other, I was fine with the circus music or the carnival music until they did that, and I was like, I'm done with all this carnival music.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like up until that moment, I didn't notice it being anything else. I'm just like, it's some carnival music. It was fun.
But it was so.
I noticed that one, and I noticed the Mando score, like the Mando theme is.
I might have missed that one.
Yeah,
I missed that one.
Probably too distracted by the other one already.
Yeah, I think so. I think I was too caught up.
Ralph's in a rage in the corner. Just
it's my only note, and it's in gigantic letters on my iPhone.
I love it.
Force Awakens music. I think it's it's just one of those tracks I've listened to so much because I do like it. So I noticed it immediately. Oh wow, look at that!
Yeah. He's
Carnival
kept it
Resistance theme.
It's all my notes.
That's it. Where do you think we go next? Do you think they go back to Mandalore? Do you think
back to Mandalore? I think.
Do you think? I think we're going to get the pirates. I think we're going to get those shots from the
pirates
trailers.
are going to come back.
Oh
yeah.
I think that Din's going to get a call from Grief, and he's just like, Mando, I need your help. Like. Those pirates that we pissed off are back, and that's when they bring the entire Mandalorian.
Well, one of the only things we're next week's episode 4, so we're like halfway there. We're getting halfway there, and the only thing I think we haven't seen yet that's in the trailer are the Mandalorians dropping above Navarro.
Right. So we're always gonna go back to Navarro.
I think it's back to Navarro, and we're gonna get Din with everyone in tow. Everyone righteous. They're all gonna get on maybe Bo's ship because they drop out of that same thing that Din drops out of.
That's a room.
It's a roomy ship. There's plenty of space for him. They all drop out.
Can we get one of those Babu Frick guys riding our R5D4?
Great.
He's just in there always fixing him.
They're
make a little window. Make a little window.
The vents. Just take out one of the vents and just make it like a little door.
Oh my god! Put a glass door
bring
so
them
you can
all.
see them.
I'm sure we'll see them again.
Into it. Let's do it. Anzellan's in robots. That's what we should have. I'm guessing that Adam.
I just hit Adam Fraser. Yeah. He can't.
Yeah.
R5D4 is like one of Adam's favorite characters ever.
Really,
just to make him more. Because it makes sense. He's always breaking down. He's always blowing fuses. You need someone to constantly be working. Those guys are real tiny. Make it his home, and they could coexist as this little Dalek creature.
Yeah, there's
around,
room in there.
But put a little window on the front.
Or riding on the back of the cape droids with that wheel, the one wheel cape droids. One on riding it it's a doing a fucking bomb crazy.
I love
little
droids.
Cowboy hat.
Yeah. He's got a lasso.
He's Filoni hat.
He's lassoing people under their feet and things. They don't need Mandalorians. The Anzellans can sort out
get some
Navarro.
Anzellans in there. I guess an Anzellan could be a Mandalorian if they.
Yeah. Just, the tiny little helmet.
Little teeny helmet.
The way.
This is the hey.
This is the way. Hey.
This is the hey. The Mandalorian, chapter 19. This is the hey.
Oh my god. It's like what?
Amazing. That'd be great. That'd be really, really great. That's all I want from next week's episode. That and Pirate King Gorian Shard, because he was awesome.
Oh yeah, we saw too little of Pirate King Gorian Shard for that to be.
He's going to be gigantic, right?
There's rumors that he's going to be one of the main bad guys of Skeleton Crew.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah, because that was the actor playing him is the guy who's Big Man in Sweet Tooth on Netflix.
Oh.
So like he's a great actor. Like so,
Yeah.
we need more of him. And if he's
Yeah, I guess that's
in
another
Skeleton
trailer
Crew?
thing that we haven't seen is like we see his ship in the trailer
Yeah,
during some
yeah.
kind of like air battle or something. So yeah, we
It's
got to
gotta
get
more-
him back. I
gotta be
saw
more
that
of
guy.
it.
I'm like, what the hell? This guy looks crazy.
So good.
They have to
Such
bring
a
him
great
back.
design. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they will.
You don't
sure.
make an elaborate costume of that for like 1 30-second shot.
Yeah.
Not for a TV show. Maybe for a movie, like when you've got
Yeah.
hundreds of millions of dollars to play with. But yeah, no, I
Yeah,
want it. I
he'll
want
be
more.
back. I think you might be
I'll
right. I think
just-
you're right about Navarro though. Maybe a little Pirate King detour before Mandalore stuff continues.
And that's it. And then we're completely like in the clear for everything that we've seen trailer wise going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just that shot. I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah. We haven't seen Moff Gideon in the trailer at all, did we? If
I don't think so.
I
I,
don't
feel
think
like
so.
I would have remembered if I
yeah,
saw.
I feel so. Like we saw
Gideon
some
in
of some of Perishing, but we didn't see any of Gideon. So
Yeah, we saw like
Help
the
him.
TIE interceptors and
Yeah.
stuff. I guess that's another thing. We'll follow the thread of is like who is being all imperial
Yeah.
out here
Yeah,
in
that's
the
it.
Mandalore system.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Moff Gideon did get away.
Mhm.
And again, it's great because it undercuts what's her name as being any good at her job. So like yeah,
Cara.
Cara Dune failed
Yeah.
to return
Whoopsie
him.
daisy.
Yeah, I missed him.
Oops, she accidentally died. Trust us.
That's it. And so he's got away and he's just rebuilt his forces, and now he's taking retribution on Bo-Katan because he doesn't like her.
Yeah, he definitely has a reason to destroy her home.
Yeah, and if those interceptors report back that she was with someone else, he's gonna probably think, oh, it's probably that dickhead who took my lightsaber from me. So
Yeah.
yeah. So he's working all angles. That's my thought.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems perfectly reasonable.
It's good.
Anything
else you guys?
I think we've covered as much as we can cover.
I think so.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Jacob,
I love a
let's
good
do
long
this.
episode for sure.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean, when you're waking up at like 5, we woke up at 5:15 today because we knew it was
Yeah.
going to be a long episode. I was just like dreading it. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah. It's one of those things
But-
because Jacob, weirdly, it's Jacob that's got the hard out. Jacob's got to get to work. I don't
It's
have
true.
to tonight.
It's
Normally it's
true.
me that's like going, right, we got to do early. But we do
I'm
what we
just
can.
doing my thing.
Yeah. Ralph's over here trying to organize interviews for the documentary that has now been announced, everybody. So
Ooh, so
Oh, yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting.
If anybody
stuff.
likes the television show Lost, I'm making a feature-length documentary about that with the director of the last blockbuster, Taylor Morden.
Wow.
So go find that at Getting Lost Doc.
Getting Lost
That's so
doc.
cool.
That's everywhere. Twitter, Instagram. You guys are all over it at the moment. It's
I'll be
great.
there.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to it. Jacob, where other than twitch.tv/Jacob Full, where can people find you?
Well, other than that, you can find me on the YouTube channel Funhouse,
Yeah.
which is where I'm going to be heading right after this podcast. But
Any
yeah, now
fun
we,
any fun videos? Is Minch going to be making a return anytime soon?
Oh, Minch will definitely. We've not seen the last of Minch, and I will we did a big Valentine's Day member drive stream where we did announce that there will be a Star Boys season 2.
Hey, that's what
Yeah.
we wanted to know.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and we've me and fellow Star Boy Patrick Brown, we do have some good Star Wars plans that will happen sooner as well. And then we'll be we've also been doing Tuesday and Thursday streams, 4-hour streams on
I was gonna say,
Funhouse.
you guys sort of just pivoted and you moved into a new office and everything. as well,
Yeah,
recently,
we
haven't you?
moved offices. We've changed our upload schedule. So now it's videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, 4-hour streams. We did a 4-hour Kingdom Hearts 3 stream yesterday, and I wanted to pull my hair out. But those have been fun. So yeah, I encourage people to go check those out. And then my Twitch channel where I build little mechs that are all over my office right now.
I was going to say,
Like,
it wasn't that long ago that we had you on, but I feel like the amount of boxes behind you there has just continues to grow.
yeah, that was smaller last time.
It definitely was smaller.
So we'll see next time I'm on this podcast.
There's not going to be any wall left next time.
Yeah, maybe it'll be like maybe up there. Or something. I got to work on that backlog. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, no, that's great.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
We'll have to get you on. I mean, what's the next show? Ahsoka? Is that next?
Is Ahsoka next? I think you're right.
I think it's
Yeah,
Ahsoka
it's
and
gotta
then
be.
Skeleton Crew at the end of the year. Yeah, because Celebration they're doing an Ahsoka panel, so it's got to be next.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for more Andor.
Ooh.
I'm just getting cozy, waiting for that second Andor.
I mean,
season.
Andor.
It's gonna be a
will have
bit.
you back on.
Yeah, I'll just keep watching
Yeah.
the first season over and over.
Yeah.
That's what
I've
usually do.
rewatched the prison arc last week again. Just
Oh,
because
it's so good. That's my
it's-
favorite arc.
It's the best. It's the best Star Wars. I think it's the best.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
could go on and on. But yeah, thanks for having me, fellas.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
and
thanks for joining us. Everyone knows
Yeah.
where they could find us.
yeah, live action
Do that,
SW
since I'm here.
everywhere.
Got it.
Yeah. Thanks for joining
Promoting our
us.
show.
And
Of course. Thank you for having
until
me.
next week, guys. Don't give in to hate.
Celebrate the love.
Punch it.
Yeah.